The theme of my annual report is the health and well-being of refugees and asylum seekers. I live in safety in this country, and I can't imagine what it must be like to wake up one day and not be able to feel safe in my own home, my own county, or my own country. To have to leave everything behind, my friends, my family, just to get somewhere safe where I could contribute to society, make friends and have a job. It really isn't right in this day and age that people cannot feel safe in their own homes. The aim of this report is to share the voices of those who have arrived in our county under schemes such as the Homes for Ukraine programme and the Afghan Resettlement Scheme. And we featured a range of videos and case studies to highlight the personal stories and experiences and aspirations of people who are settling in our county and celebrate their contribution to our daily lives. My report also celebrates the work of a range of volunteers and professionals from across our local communities and statutory services who have collectively welcomed and supported refugees and asylum seekers arriving here in Gloucestershire.
I know that when I've been with families and had the privilege of being with a family when they're arriving, particularly if they've travelled a long way and they've come from really grim situations, and welcoming into their home and seeing the child run and grab a soft toy from the bed or pick up a book or start playing and just start to ask those questions. Is this for me? Is this actually now? Can I actually stop feeling frightened, stop feeling that I'm constantly on the move? That's an amazing privilege to be there and to see that happening.
In February, it was a bit scary. All the news and airports were closed and people were a bit nervous about it.
British volunteers helped me leave Ukraine. They helped me cross the border with Poland. When I arrived here, I was totally confused. I'd be in London half an hour, then arrived to Stroud. It's all new for me, but I be happy because I arrived to my family.
I don't think you could ever put a measure on what this means to the families who come over here. And I really don't ever think they could express how grateful they were.
Living in Ukraine when the war started was horrible, to be honest. Especially seeing my family, being very worried about everything happening there just definitely made me cry inside. The life at the start of the war, it was horrible, I have to say the least. We were living in the basements for days without electricity, food, water either. My family stayed in Ukraine when I went to the UK on my own at the age of 16. Being farm assistant there, they were trying to help soldiers and civilians by providing supplies and help and support.
These people have either been through or going through really, really tough times. And in Gloucestershire, let's face it, we're a very welcoming community, we're a very friendly community, and it's about making sure that those people have the ability to live in a welcoming environment and have their needs met so that they can thrive.
Reaching out to people in difficulties and situations which are sometimes so horrific to comprehend, that motivates us and instills us to move forward and do what we can, however little it is. The little we do and the little interventions we have and support, when multiplied, makes a big difference to the lives of people, makes a massive difference.
When other people, immigrants or refugees or asylum seekers come to the country, they're in very similar or relatable conditions that our parents might have come to this country with. So I suppose we get it. We have that certain empathy. And also, most people who receive services from a community centre like ours, they end up giving back to us because they want to give back to their communities.
We help people in different ways just because they all have different situations. And being a refugee myself, I kind of understand all the needs refugees have and all the insecurities they face every day. And I believe when a refugee finds a job, he stops being a refugee just because he becomes more free and independent and integrated.
It is so hard time for everybody. Unfortunately, we have a lot of problem. We have a lot of issue in Afghanistan. But my future plan, when the Afghanistan condition is safe, will be moving back in my village. I will never forget these great things in the UK. I have skills in education skills, like I have medical technician skills and nursing skills. I will build my CV and my application later. I will apply for the position.
It's been very, very rewarding to employ in Gloucester. One of the most rewarding things has been getting to know and being able to work with the refugee population here. I think Gloucester must be one of the greatest cities for integrating people from all over the world. So employment-wise, it's been a huge benefit with the skills, but it's also for all of us enriches our work to be able to create a warm, friendly, productive, successful place from lives of huge challenges is very enriching for all of us.
From the first day that I came here, Gareth were supporting me. They have picked me up from the airport in Birmingham and bring me to Gloucester, and they took me to the house that I'm living now, and they have found me a job. It's the work that I have experienced at, and I've been working this job for about 10 years back in Iran, so they were so helpful.
We were set up to support asylum seekers who were coming to live in particularly Gloucester, but across the county. But over the years that's developed. Projects like resettlement and the Ukrainian project could not happen if we weren't working in partnership together.
We came together really quickly off the back of COVID. We kind of knew which buttons to press to deal with the Homes for Ukraine situation, which, let's face it, happened overnight. So it was just a case of really just drawing a few extra people into that partnership to make that response work really well. Homes for Ukraine was an interesting one. The County Council did a lot of the administrative work that went behind it, and we've welcomed over 1,200 Ukrainians into the county, and that's been a really good partnership of the County Council and the District Councils all working together to make that a real success, and over 800 of those Ukrainians have stayed in the county.
They're escaping a war, sometimes with a carrier bag full of clothes. That's all they land with. And to be hosted by the kind of people that we have is just amazing. We couldn't do this without Gareth's DWP, adult education, things like STEP programme. Community groups are a huge piece in helping people integrate into society, so lots and lots of stakeholders who make this possible.
The collaboration is enormously important. The midwifery and the health visiting teams play a huge part for us. But then there's also the stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think about as obviously. So the wheelchair services, the community wheelchair services have been absolutely fantastic. Speech and language therapists, occupational therapists, the partnerships between Gloucester County Council, the Gloucester Strategic Migration Partnership does incredible work. It just ties and dovetails it in all of the agencies together. So we have very, very open and regular conversations with partners in police, in education, in social care. And I think the structure that has been embedded in Gloucestershire has just been invaluable to our service provision. And I think that the people of Gloucestershire should be extremely proud.